Covert art. Damage protein combination friction drumming territorially through the constant hum of anguish, sculpted starchy matter under pressure, cuffing imperialism or scuffing the fluff of an empty bookshelf. KY prompt toward language or some other species, catalogue of camouflaged and solvent nightlines, wired high, taut energy, buzzing potentiality, or the fuzz of a one-handed VHS drone. Fast forward to action, or flip to switch in pillow fight mode, army of feathers of which they are made. Vertebrae concealed in candy cotton drawstring, neatly fitted below a subtle rounding pouch of doughy love. Maternal hangover washed down and out in drunken fumbling. Nipple slipped to fingered thumbing. Output device tuned to tip of tongue on palate, thrumming or clicking out a name in defense of molecular integrity. A supplied system shorted out by a third eyelid that moves and flocks outwards. Grant me a modified citation or point of reference in which to nestle outside of a medical environment. All trusty gestures appear alien, and I am unable to handle objects directly for fear of dispersing lineage. Oh, let's waste our nervous systems to ammonia, hook ourselves up to something larger than a group of specialised scavengers, throw it all into the air around whoever pisses us off. AC/DC lover. Clinging on by a singular prefix, luminary engineering looms large over flea markets of imagination, coursing voltage, high-speed peep geeks engaged in cross-talking, bleed process slowing against the barrier of artifacts, or the freak economy which, stroking your delicate face, has razored edges, threatening to push your dissed head under, nose filling, chlorine-stenched streak of loss, Betamax tears streaming down loads your torso, mode flit unsteady, and sweating pixels in space of tactical precision, made messy with optical concerns. Kel-o-matic squeals breaking the ice cracks in a capable system, a lyric super rap conjuring difference, split sharp hairpin, aching like a professional pinstripe. And setting the radio on fire, every leg has a part to play, foot inching to boom central love or idea of it in the viewfinder, barely in the room for federal media, men down sinks poured away, faxed or blow-dried out at 300 volts, lower lip pinch, firm back on giggling cold-cupped wall of a hobbyist sweat struggle, stroking the soup quote quietude mechanically, sick looks, breathless looks. Adapt to shiver, grin sizzle or ache in filter format, wet hot inside the sun's district, pumping coercivity as far as it will give, industrial silicone smirk sending kisses to herself, honey-muscled and passionately bare with use, buck down on the detour and burst open all over the table. Oxidate me quick, I am a sensation-bound toy. A fiddling timeshare, a silky purchase zip in the stitch of her digital entrance, a fervent fax unscrewed all over your throat. Anecdotally yours. Countless, homeless, we look for new genders. In our dark, our schizoid isolation, and ask, please treat me with inappropriate respect. Embrace my poor nutrition, my nausea bones, my belly, which may or may not be growing something, somatically ruminating, rumbling, etc. Or hit the spacebar instead of tidy with sharp edges, badly in need of a hero. Cutting holes in ourselves versus buying large desktop organisers to store our recollections of the past, of all of the world, slipping down the K-hole of our minds, our tickly, loose connections. We too are drifting. Our tenderness being muttered up by other people, I lie awake, twisting and stripped of physical dwelling, hips with the same feeling, finding myself mumbling, I'm sorry, reject. And your mouth is a place to go, a place where the human need for relatively peaceful sanctuary can collect itself. Suck me, nuzzle me, foster me. We are in our separate spaces, mouths mouthing along to the words of the film Patch Adams, and learning that returning to home as an adult promotes restlessness. But let's keep kissing and dipping with friction against the softness of hum, sweat, hum. Licking punk, I found myself dwelling in the conceptual heart of nonsense breaking up. I have two hands to cope with this death by values, by economics. We are locked in structure in spite of our nylon surgings, then being reduced to slits of marginal import. And we know better, huh? And yeah, you say, the eternal optimist, you turn to me and you say that it's good to get perspective on a perspective, even when the sky's so black with clouds it looks like night. Upon which you would remark that at least we are less visible under extreme conditions, and besides, we have more fun after dark. This is a sonnet. Tetra's Heart. Earful of sound we have plagiarised, your face printed on a t-shirt above a forgettable slogan, my tickly desire transmitted via a homemade skirt. I have been writing this poem for 6 hours. The plastic bricks are not only durable, they communicate our daily needs to us. Comments, icons, avatars, and your kitsch, your eternal novelty, cracker prize charm, I'd never cheat. We play like this, down, then left, flip horizontal, hard captor, my retro crush, freeze me down and press start pronto, save me from plunging elbow deep into data, a love wrought in small units. Filthy pictures. My lover, my best fan friction, a frontal fullness or sharp dance, muscle mass attends a lecture in symmetry, primary feelings buzz in pubs and manual shifts, and loss will be loud and not care about the neighbours, should Tem whacking me over the head with a golf club or smothering me in years. Yes, I am drunk and care only for medication and complicated faith. 6 weeks of freakish and crushing shyness, broken only by homework and the prospect of fatherhood. Flock to fitness first and spew it all over the communal showers, rivulets of disconfiguration passing us by, all wearing angel helmets, the headquarters for social anxiety and angulation ready to enrich you and break or reset all of your bones in raunchy acts of self-help and uncomfortable biopsies or whatever Clinton-esque gestures towards reality are required. And besides, my therapist thinks you're bad for both of us and shoots me genuine smiles from across the room. And this is my last poem. Thanks very much for inviting me. Spatial thrill. Your name saves me like a threat. We swift surfaces use our hands to breathe across them. Bosoms ragged, component movements, twitch of wing and mitten sticking to the tourist dismembrane of our innermost. No poems today. We have always been away. Sanitary heads caught in amorous nets. Subclass of reproduction, critically reduced, given swift limbs for a practical purpose. Signals like infidels. My kleptomaniac, touch my lightweight web of bones, employ modest strategy. Toxic egg, electronic cottaging, starry Steinshine, cry by night, obsolete decadences move you in your heart so full of glove you dance amongst diverse moments or fissures in the functional landscape. Temporary incubation of the sun in your palm, you stroke back and forth, fingerless, sublime. Skin burned away makes a leather hemisphere stretch back tight across the capital and lets the moon in, a pale lantern. Latex consciousness of truth. Lips on thigh, a stripe of flesh caught in your diastema, mandible thrust, a hazardous urgency of pulmonary pace, sharp sparks, chainsaw jaw. You, flightless, flapping lethargy. Pray for short shrift. Slick your fickle plumage and scram. Scream, slash, or hatch out social systems for lack of syntax. Lately, state of nightly stupor breeds this blowback tickle, flirt. Sudden fluster or blip of feet slipped asunder. Becoming party pooper, bopping apart from foraging kestrels, lack of easy charm churning over you, longing for a saccharine sacrum grind, a pulsing pelvic morse, code extended decoder, beat, stop time, disbalance, dismantle, dismount, stranger gaze, glares you straight in the strobe, stop time to stop, stare blind at the stop gap, white line making milky with your stop, cornea lightning, dust, timely, stop, start waking or walking towards the light, towards the full moon, the full stop.